Tonight, award season is almost over, and that means it's time for Rex Reel's Best of and Worst of 2024. That'll be our next episode. You don't want to miss it. And we will be adding to the list of best and worst on tonight's show for 2025. Plus, big news from our sponsor, a whole new look is coming down the pike. We have all that and a whole lot more for you as cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And tonight, before we get underway, I'd like to say special thanks to co-producer here at BPTV, Eric Sprouse, who has once again asked me to co-host with him on Walk the Plank, the pre-show before Dead and Buried. We had an awful lot of fun doing these two shows, and I hope you'll tune in. There'll be links on my social pages to see them. Awful lot of fun and talking about good old schlock B horror films from the 60s. It was fun. And I want to remind you that, slowly but surely it's starting to get a little bit warmer. So this is really the last chance for you to go to the official Rex Reel store and stock up on hoodies, sweatshirts, and blankets, up to 60% off. That sale is going to be ending soon. Check it out now at the official Rex Reel store. A couple of weeks still left with that cold weather, and you can be prepared for it. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what's going on here. And studious, I'll take out my specs for this. Our first review is Everyone is Going to Die. So we will begin the show with a movie that makes the worst films for 2025. And we can blame our friends from across the pond for this hot mess. Rex and I nominate writer and director Craig Toohey for Sissy of the Year. Now, Dan, who was played by Brad Moore, is a divorced man who is really enjoying the free life once again. Now, that's already a sin in a feminist camp. No man in that camp is allowed to be happy unless it's by a woman's rule. So when he hosts his daughter for her 16th birthday, all hell breaks loose at the celebration as two home invaders crash the party. The invaders are played by Chiara Diana and Jamie Winstone. Now, I realized this movie was going to be trash when Dan, paying homage to soy boys everywhere, misses out on a plethora of opportunities to slap the intruders and take control of the situation. It's frustrating. Let's get somebody who's a little bit more calm about this and peel back those veils of time. Head back to the early Cretaceous period and check in with the nation's first and only prehistoric film critic, Rex Reel.
Feminist propaganda movies are usually best shown to jilted lovers and belong in the trash heap of celluloid. This movie starts with the premise that all men are evil and then goes on to placate matricide and patricide. The male lead is not manly, and the females are all preachy, whiny Avoid this film at all costs to preserve your God-given right to testosterone.
Thanks, Rex. Got to point out to you that this version of Everyone is Going to Die has absolutely no relation to the 2013 movie of the same name. As an aside, I have to point out that the theme song for this movie is performed in a rather nauseating fashion by a group called the Church of the Cosmic Skull. Curtis, if you were watching this review, I know that name will bring a smile to your face. Everyone associated with this film should be tarred and feathered and banned from celluloid for 1 year, minimum. Their next work should offer redemption to all viewers.
Happy birthday, darling.
I have a watch.
Take it back, spend the money on whatever. Clearly I messed up.
No, Dad, Dad, there's someone in the garden.
Imogen, stay here. Friend of yours?
Hello. We're here for the party. And look, we bought presents.
Why are you here?
What we do is organise days that you'll never forget. Happy birthday, dear Imogen. Let's start. Drink?
She's scared to death.
What, and you're not? Happy birthday to you. We know all about you. Happy birthday to you. Pleasure or pain, your choice. Birthday, dear Imogen.
I don't want to die.
I need you to stab her.
Why?
Sometimes the fans, they do get a bit vocal as we dip tonight into our mailbag. Folks, sometimes they do indeed write letters, and our first dip into the mailbag tonight comes from Brazen Bull, who says emphatically, drop the dinosaur bit. Okay, Brazen Bull. So if you take a look at the screen down in the lower corner, you'll see the logo brand for the show. Okay, you got that? Name of the show is Outtakes with Rex Reel, the nation's first and only prehistoric film critic. That's the brand. That's the logo. And your advice is dump it. Right. How's that marketing degree working for you there, brother? Next one came from 7th Street Studio Productions. It was nice to hear from these guys. They saw my review for Conjuring the Cult. And they wrote, "Dang, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy the movie more, but thank you for watching. Check out our other films from Breaking Glass Pictures." They sent me the link, and I will be checking out some of those movies, and you'll probably be seeing the reviews up above. I appreciate them getting in touch. And finally in our mailbag, Ronnie394 sent, okay, I don't know where Ronnie's been, but apparently he watched a review I did on a movie called Naples in Veils. Folks, I did this movie almost 6 years ago, okay? That's how old the movie is. And he sends me a message saying, "I didn't get the ending to this movie. Can you explain exactly what it was all about?" You know what? I'm going to let the fans do that, all right? I put your message out there, and I'll let them explain it to you. It's been 5, almost 6 years, and we've moved on. And that's going to wrap up our mailbag for tonight. Hey, don't touch that dial yet, because we have a whole lot more to do when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. House of Fairuza Barbershop, located at the corner of Drake Road and South Park Road. Folks, I can't tell you how good Sam and his crew, when I'm walking around the neighborhood and I go to the local store or whatever, I'm not recognized. And that's because even though you may be looking at the screen now saying, well, a guy could use a little, you have no idea how much work Sam puts in to making me look this good on camera. Yeah, it is that. And so many people have discovered his talents that he needs to expand. So, in the next few months, there are going to be major changes to the House of Fairuza, including additional barbers. When he's all done with this renovation, there's going to be 6 different chairs down there that you could sit in, and every one of his co-workers is going to be sanctioned and sponsored by Sam, so you're getting the best possible work done for you to feel and look your best. Now, for the rest of the shows that are coming down the pike, I'll keep you abreast of what's going on, and hopefully when all the renovations are done, we may even broadcast from there live so that you can see what's going on one of these episodes. The House of Fairuza, it's going to make you look and feel as good as you've ever been. Corner of Drake Road and South Park Road. They support the show. Won't you support them? Give them a call. Tell Sam I sent you down. Welcome back to the show. Let me apologize right up front for this next review. Some of these names are, they're tricky, but I'll get through them as best I can. The name of the movie is Inhuman Kiss: The Last Breath 2. Now, before I get into the review, let me say that as a bona fide film critic, I must respect the cultures of other nations, especially when doing a review on a foreign film. And believe me, I watch an awful lot of foreign films in the course of a month. This is not to say that all cultures are equal. Not saying that. And I'm not saying that there is any culture that is better than ours right here in America. I am not saying that. I am saying that different cultures approach subject matters differently, and you have to be a little bit aware of that before you can, give kind of an opinion of a movie where these things. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here. In this movie, there are very odd and insidious creatures who spring forth from people, and it's part of the culture. It's accepted. Right now we're in the studio, and if something monstrous burst out of Dave running the camera, it'd be like a scene from Alien or something. But these people are all okay with this in Indonesia, and they accept it as part of their lives. So all of that brings us to the Krasu. It is a demonic, disembodied head with its organs streaming by entrails from its neck. Now, when you fall in love with a woman, and she is a Krasu, the relationship becomes quite intense. I'm sure there are some viewers right now shaking their head thinking they have this problem. Sao is the Krasu, and she is played by Chiana McClory. Cloud, and here we go with the names, is Kristan Pimblusongram. I hope I did that justice. And he is madly in love with Sao, and vice versa. Cloud has the ability to heal, but even his powers may not be powerful enough to harness the Krasu. Now, to complicate this love affair even more, the Krasu has a natural enemy in the demon spirit world, and that is the Krahong. In order to survive, the Krahong must eat the heart of the Krasu. You can see where the conflict is coming. Caught in the middle of this supernatural conflict is Sao's father, Anan, who is played by Bambihat Travansiri. And he is helped by Father Augustine, who is played by Joe Cummings. I have no problem with that name. I don't know how I think he's the token white guy in the story, and they threw him in there. Say, if these names and these monsters haven't confused you, perhaps we can clarify everything a little better by going back in time once again to the early Cretaceous and checking in with Rex Reel.
This movie takes place some 30 years after the story in the first Inhuman Kiss movie. Audiences in Indonesia thought the sequel paralleled the original greatly and were disappointed with the endeavor. However, if you did not watch the first film, most of this movie will appear fresh and innovative. Editor Harin Pasongai miscues, and the entire first hour of Inhuman Kiss is monotonous and cumbersome. Director Panghangkorn Panchanpum picks up the pace considerably in the second hour. Not a bad view if this is the first time you are introduced to these creatures.
Oh my God!
My name is Cloud.
Strange name. Anyway, I'm Sal.
Why did you hurt it? It's harmless.
It's just an animal. We are humans.
Sal's condition is critical.
Are you absolutely certain she never missed a dose?
Not even once.
The medicine is insufficient to cure her now.
You're not scared?
No, not at all.
I have something inside me.
Pan is the only person who can catch this monster from a fairy tale. Since I found out that my daughter is a Krasu, I haven't had one good night's sleep.
Does it hurt when you change?
Let me try something.
I don't know if the procedure will cure you.
But what if it kills you?
A lot of interesting news coming out of Tinseltown in this edition of the BizBuzz. All right, some big news. Well, you know, the last couple of shows we've been keeping track of, the stars that are leaving America. You remember a plethora of them came out and said, if Donald Trump wins the election, we're leaving the country. And they made a very strong point of it. Well, as you know, Trump won in rather convincing fashion. And so far, only two, the two we've mentioned earlier, have officially left the country. Everybody else is still around, including Jimmy Kimmel, who swore he would be gone January 21st. He's not. He's still doing his show and everything. You know, we'll keep an eye on this, but I think maybe a couple more episodes, and if they don't start leaving, we're just going to drop this thing because they're not following through on their word. I don't think it's going to happen unless those travel plans are really that crazy. And maybe they're afraid to fly Delta or something. I don't know what the deal is. Hey, Alan Ritchson really wants to be Batman. He looks pretty good in the costume, but I got to tell you, in season 3 of Reacher, I think he's proving that while he has the physique and looks really good in the Batman costume, he may not have the acting chops to pull off Bruce Wayne. His delivery is really stilted and somewhat forced. That doesn't stop, folks, season 3 of Reacher from being an awful lot of fun. It's currently streaming on Paramount, which is now Skydance TV. The first 3 episodes of Season 3 are very slow, and they are burdened by what has been. And I got to tell you, the character, a key character in the plot, Dominique, is horribly miscast. That said, after the 3rd episode, the show really picks up and delivers what viewers expect from a Lee Child adventure. And I got to tell you, I'm back into the trades again in a sheer sign of stupidity. Variety allowed disgraced sports announcer Keith Olbermann to report on Trump's election. Why trade magazines for the film industry want to get involved in the politics is beyond me. In providing futile commands to the liberal media like MSNBC and CNN, Olbermann states, and this is a quote, "Stay the course. The audience is exhausted and needs a break. It'll be back with resistier than ever." Resistier? Really? We're going to make up words now? You can't even find that on Google in the Urban Dictionary. This man is a complete jackass, and anyone that gives credence to sports announcers like Olbermann and most recently the equally irritating Stephen A. Smith any amount of ethos is ludicrous. They are both out of their depth. All right, I think we have time for one more review, and this is the Guns of Redemption. You know, when I do a lot of reviews, I often talk about the pacing of a film. And this movie explains how not to do it. It has all the pacing wrong. Now, the movie begins strong as a mysterious stranger who is plagued by PTSD from the Civil War seeks refuge and salvation in a small, quiet town in the church of Parson Dreyer. The stranger is Casper Van Dien, who is a follower of the Outtakes with Rex Real Facebook page and a friend of the show. The parson is played by Sean Astin, who also just appeared in the most excellent horror comedy, The Invisible Raptor, which you can see online, by the way. My review, that is. The film is set for a tale of redemption until Jeff Fahey appears in the guise of General Bork. He is a nefarious no-good who engages in murder, mayhem, and sex trafficking. His victims include Caitlin Kemp and Sienna Borgdenarod. They play Charlotte and Anna, respectively. All right, final time tonight. Let's hit that time machine and check in with Rex Real.
Director Brian Skiba is also the editor. While he begins his film with a comfortable pace, he slows it considerably in the second act, and then, as if he were on a time schedule, he ends the film with 5 quick edits. If you blink, you'll miss key elements. The movie was good enough not to deserve a short shrift conclusion.
A man shows up wanting to help us rebuild our church for nothing more than a place to sleep at night. I don't trust him.
It's just you don't know anything about him.
I'm not going to turn a man in need away. I don't care what's behind you, as long as you don't bring it with you. You understand?
I understand.
I was hoping our town would be too meager for General Bork.
Maybe he's just passing through.
If a man won't go to the devil will come to him.
I ain't giving myself to any of you.
You say one more word, I'll break every bone in your body. So, $10 for the virgin.
This is really good, girl.
Please help us.
I believe you're hiding a couple prisoners that belong to me. Pack it up, boys. I've had enough of this town.
Hurry you still alive?
I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna slow him down. What the hell kind of a man comes back from the dead to save a couple of worthless whores?
My guardian angel.
I'm no angel.
You the preacher?
You looking to get baptized? There's nothing in this church that belongs to you other than the sin you brought in.
That is all the time we have for this episode of Outtakes with Rex Reel, but I do want to remind you, these are not the only reviews you will get. I mean, I do a lot of reviews that are online only, and you want to be sure to check those out as well. For example, currently, hot items on the socials include my review of The Invisible Raptor, which made Best of the Year list so far, Dark Nuns, A Legend, which is Jackie Chan's new movie, Laws of Man, and The Prosecutor, which is a new Donnie Yen movie, also making the Best of the Year list this early in 2025. All of those reviews are exclusive to the online socials. That includes YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, X, and Truth Social. Be sure to check them out. This way you're kept up to speed on all of these movies. And now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.